Oh yeah, we back with another episode of The Twisted Tea, where we come to bring you the news with a twist. And today, for those of you who haven't heard, well, let's dive in. You see, because JLo has decided to call it quits with Ben Affleck.
The songs that I wrote for the album, which is on the inside of this ring right here, my engagement ring that he gave me, it says not period, going period, anywhere period.
Oh yeah, I know. For some of you, you've been following JLo for a long time. You've been following Ben for a while. But to be honest with you, if you have, then you should have seen the signs coming. Today, let's get into what we've seen that we know has taken place and why it has put an effect on their relationship.
To
an anniversary.
A happy anniversary.
Not really.
Well, an anniversary, yes, for Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck.
This situation has taken the turn for the worst. They were dating years ago. For those of you, let me jog your memory. 2002, these two dated for a real quick period of time. 2 years, which is around the same time frame they've lasted since getting married.
And my first diamond ring, he gave me the pink diamond ring, it said sing. And this one he put not period, going period, anywhere period, because that's how he would sign his emails when we started talking again.
They've lasted for 2 years. So, for those of you who haven't caught that history does repeat itself, well, history repeated itself because they never actually dealt with their problems from the past, which is why it continues to rear its ugly little head.
Like, don't worry, wow. I'm not going anywhere.
If you haven't been seeing the signs, like for instance, when Ben went to Dunkin' Donuts to get himself a donut, and JLo was criticizing him going fat ass then, if you didn't see it, well, he was in there then trying to deal with his situation, knowing that he was dealing with a lot and really didn't want to have to listen to her mouth, but he was, and he was in the drive-thru, and she was looking at him going, this is what your fat ass is about to go do? You think this is what I want for my future? Oh, come on. You see, because JLo needs her image in the public to look one way, while Ben has stopped caring. All right, Ben doesn't care about what people think. He just wants to be happy with his family, and JLo still wants to play that I need my image to be a certain way game. Ben, get it together. So you can see, like, when Ben goes off and kisses her, she pulls back in public, treats him a certain way in public, calls him out in public. Now, for those of you who forgot, when Ben and JLo were together in 2002, JLo just got out of her relationship with none other than P. Diddy. Oh yeah, the one you hearing about all the charges now. See, JLo was dealing with Diddy before that.
The jurors also wanted to hear a readback of testimony relating to Combs' former girlfriend, actress-singer Jennifer Lopez, who was in the Navigator when it was stopped by police.
And they got into a shootout at the club, all right? This just goes to show, see, as much as JLo like to act like she isn't, remember, that's Jenny from the block. So Jenny from the block is looking for a little bit of more of an excitement in her life, because she needs it. She needs that drama to feed into it and to keep her going. You know, Jenny from the block.
An officer testified that everyone in the SUV was ordered to put their hands on the vehicle, but Lopez walked away, saying she was going home. As she was being detained, a gun was discovered in the vehicle. At that point, a sergeant on the scene ordered everyone who was in the vehicle under arrest. The officer quotes Lopez as saying, "It's not my gun."
Ben doesn't offer that. P. Diddy did. But it was too much. And believe me, if it wasn't, if their relationship wasn't a traumatic one, it would have probably ended up being considered one of her first big breakups. But she tried to sweep that relationship under the rug like it never happened. Oh yeah, and then she dated somebody real quick. And guess what? Right after that, that one was like less than a year, she got with Ben. So, they were like, let's calm this down for her. We'll send her with Ben because we know that she needs somebody a lot less wild. And that's what I mean. Those two were kind of placed together then, and she wasn't a fan then. They did each other dirty, aired out each other's dirty laundry, treated each other a certain way. Those things never die out. Bad habits die hard. So recently, like a few months back, when they started selling that mansion and people were scratching their head then, and Ben was going, yeah, I don't stay there. I'm staying, down the street at a motel, hotel, Holiday Inn. And everybody was like, well, what you mean, Ben? And he was like, you heard what I said. I'm not staying there. The red flags were out there.
Ben Affleck bought a new house and it's JLo free.
Do you have to pay extra for that?
So he bought a $20 million house. They still haven't sold the $60 million.
That's correct.
But yes, Ben just closed escrow on a mansion in Brentwood for $20.5 million.
Now, some people might step back and go, oh, well, they probably were just trying to sell the mansion to make a little bit of money off of it. But that ain't the case. They bought it for $60 million. And then they sold it for 65. So they pretty much just had a little bit of extra in there to play with the taxes or whatever, right? Because at the end of the day, they ain't really make nothing big on the house. I mean, $5 million to them, that's nothing, especially once you get into, again, the taxes on it. So, they selling the house because they ready to part ways. They ain't selling the house to make no money. When JLo decided to share boxes of Ben's letters and just throw those out there for everybody to see, now, those were supposed to be Ben's letters to his exes that he had been keeping, right? And JLo, like I said, Jenny from the block need the drama, decided that she was gonna go ahead and throw them out there like they were somebody's ashes. Here you go, let me spread them up there to the world. So when she decided to do that, if you were to ask me, I think then it says a lot about the character of a person, and that stuff should have been kept in-house, where none of their stuff is really kept in-house because JLo's always trying to air it out. I think that also played a huge part in setting them back, even though they had gotten back together from that. Like I said, certain things die hard, and that is something that you won't forget. Definitely speaks to her childish ways though, okay? You see, JLo bounced around from guy to guy to guy to guy to guy. So she's never really had some time to, one, give her vagina a rest, and two, give her mental a rest. All she's done is bounced around. I mean, one of her longest relationships was with Mark Anthony, who has kids with her. Okay, and even Mark Anthony, well, for those who don't know, even Mark Anthony, they call him fucking not JLo, they call him fucking Jada Pinkett on Jada Pinkett's couch in her house living room with Will Smith walking in.
When they did Hawthorne, Jada started fucking with Mark Anthony, who is JLo's husband, right? They did a TV show called Hawthorne.
Is that why they divorced?
Will came home and caught Jada fucking Mark Anthony on the couch at their home.
So that just goes to show you Mark Anthony, he might have been real kind and romantic in his ways and this and that and about some of the songs that he might put out, but Mark Anthony different too. And best believe that he was throwing it down and giving her a little drama on the side. That's why it lasted so long, because JLo need the drama. If there ain't no drama for JLo gotta go. And Ben ain't figured that part out yet. Because Ben, on his birthday, he's like, listen, we going to chill out. I'm turning 50-something years old. I just want to spend it with the kids. And JLo's like, well, I'm turning 50-something years old, and we going to throw a party in the Hamptons. And everybody going to be there. Except for Ben. Because Ben don't want to deal with that. So, these are just little red flags that have been just put down in there. Look, red flag in the sand, red flag in the sand, showing and telling us what the problems are and that they haven't been on the same page in a very long time. Okay? JLo went out to state how she feels like Ben on those special days, like the birthdays and the holidays, how Ben just isn't, there. Like, he doesn't do enough on those days. And I don't think it's that he doesn't do enough. I just think she expecting a little too much. Okay? That's just me. Right? With all of this being said, For those who also you don't know, like they didn't have a prenuptial agreement in their marriage either. And they probably figured, because they spin the block again, that this would last. But clearly it didn't. And they both, they're fairly successful individuals. So I wonder what's gonna happen with the money. Now, some say that Ben could care less, JLo could care less, but I believe they're gonna want to probably keep what they came in there with. We'll also see if this is gonna be a really easy, amicable split, or is this gonna get messy? All right? Write down in the comments whether you want this to go easy or messy. Write down in the comments if you think JLo is gonna get the better end of this deal, or you think he's gonna get the better end of the deal. And I know nobody wins when the family feuds, but something's gonna happen here. So you write down in the comments what you think's gonna happen. With all the signs that we just kind of labeled and put out there, I'm hoping that you can start to see and understand why their relationship wouldn't have lasted or stood the test of time. I need you to know that if you can't keep certain things in the house and certain things are going to be placed outside, it's going to be hard for you all to build and grow because you put your trust outside instead of inside with the person that you're supposed to be growing with. The way that JLo goes ahead and criticizes him with some of the stuff that he does, it kind of makes him probably feel as though he's a little less than, even though, they're actors. They should take it and have a little thick skin. But I'm sure that when she is making those assumptions or judgments or calling him out on like them donuts or what he does here or what he does there or his little actions, like instead of letting him be him and the person that she supposedly fell in love with, she's trying to change that about him. And that's not going to work. She has to allow him to be himself in order for them to grow, as I'm sure he allows her to be herself. We're going to get more information about this situation. Obviously, we hope the best for them for the kids' sake. With that being said, thank you for tuning in to an episode of The Twisted Tea, where we come to bring you the news with a twist.